Good morning. Today we are continuing with those function tables and graphing, and we are doing CO49. I can graph a function using a function table. So we're going to get the function table, we're going to look at the x's and the y's, those ordered pairs, and we're going to graph them. So remember that in a function table, each pair of x and y values represent an ordered pair. You can graph a function using a function table by plotting each ordered pair on a coordinate plane and connecting them with a line. So we've got 4 steps that we're going to have to do. The first thing I want to remind us is that when we do an ordered pair, it's always alphabetical. X, then Y. Always alphabetical. X, Y. So that first one is an X, the second one is the Y. Important to remember because it always tricks up at least one person in the class. So write it down, X, Y. So you remember your ordered pairs, X first, then the Y. Notice on our graph, the X is our horizontal line, positives to the right, negatives to the left. Our Y is the vertical going up and down, positives go up from the 0, negatives go down from the 0. So the first thing we're going to do is write the ordered pair that's from the table. We're writing all the ordered pairs. In the future, you might just look at it and say, I know what the ordered pair is, but if the directions say write out the ordered pair, you need to write out the ordered pair. Even if you can do mental math with it, we're writing it out. So the way we do that is we see our X and our Y. So it would be -2, 0, 0, 2, 2, 4, 3, 5. So we take our X and we put it with our Y. Take the X, put it with the Y. Take the X, put it with the Y. Take the X, put it with the Y. Make sense? Now we have 4 ordered pairs that we need. Oh, that was A. We have to do B. Write a rule for the graph. What do you think our rule would be for this function table, for this graph? Evan?
Is it like the 4 corners thing?
No, that is, you're talking the quadrants?
Yeah.
No, we're talking, remember when we did rules, we did y equals what? So when we talk about a rule, we always want to do y equals, what are we doing to the x to get to the y? What are we doing to our x to get our y? James? Yeah, because each x is increasing by 2. -2 to 0, you increase by 2. So I'm not sure what's going on. Let's not do that. It's distracting me. I'm having a hard time teaching when you get distracted. So that's our second part. You have to, first part is you're writing out your coordinate pairs. Second part is you're writing the rule. The third part is we graph. So we say, okay, -2, 0. I'm going to go to -2, and 0 is right on the line. Then I'm going to go to 0, 2. It's going to be right on the line. I'm going to go to 2, 4, right at that corners where they all meet. And then 3, 5. I'm going to graph that line. So I'm going to draw my line. It is a line, so I put my arrows at the ends. Now I need to list an ordered pair not included in the table, but that is on the line. So, anybody know how to do that? Evelyn? So, the following the line works sometimes and not other times, because sometimes we're not very precise when we draw our line. My line is not completely straight, and it can really goof us up if we just eyeball it and we look at it and say, this will be on the line. There's a way to know precisely. Do you know, Emily?
Line color can be 1, 3.
So we can see by looking at it, but like I said, sometimes it's not always precise. So Gus, what do you think?
You can plug it into the formula. So like if you wanted one, like 1 equals x plus.
Ah, there's a reason why Mr. Schultz had us write the rule. We need to know for certain that it would work. So if we put in a 1 for our x, 1 plus 2 equals 3. So we know that x is 1, y is 3. So you're going to use that rule to plug a number in. What do you want your x to be? Would 8, 10 be on the line?
8, 10, yes.
How do you know, James?
Because I get x is the 8 and then equals plus 2. So
Yeah.
that equals
So
1.
what you're going to pick an x that's not already listed and figure out what y would be using the rule. So you pick an x, put it into your rule, and it'll tell you what the y will be. So it doesn't, you can not even see it on our chart here. I could say -10. What is my y going to be? James, huh? So put in whatever x you want into the rule, and you're going to know what the y is, as long as you did your rule correctly. Does that make sense? So we have, let's do one more together, and then the rest we'll do on our own. So we'll do this one together. Remember, our first step is writing our ordered pairs. So I'm going to take my x and my y, and I'm going to put it as my ordered pair. X, y, x, y, and my x, and my y. Second step is writing the rule. If I look at how my x's go to the y's, what am I doing every time? What is my rule? Alexis. Y equals x plus 1. If I look at my x, I can see that it's increasing by 1 every time. So now my second step is graphing it. I'm going to graph each of these ordered pairs. -3, -2, -1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to draw a line connecting them. Put your arrows on the end so we know it's a line and not a segment. And then I need to write an ordered pair that is not in the table. What ordered pair could I put? James. I could put 3, 4. If I put 3 in for x plus 1, I get 4. What's another ordered pair I could do? Evelyn? Say it louder.
1, 2.
Mario?
-6, -5.
Any of those would be correct answers. Tatum, you got another one? Oh, that's already up there. So on the test, if you have to do that, it doesn't have to be one specific answer. It could be any of these ordered pairs that work with the rule. So don't just eyeball it and say, well, I think this would fall in that line, because sometimes we don't draw straight lines and it gets thrown off. Always use the rule. If I put in this x, what do I get for my y? Aiden.
Another one would be -4, -3.
Yes. -4, -3 would work. Evelyn? Are you looking at this one?
Yeah.
You could do subtraction, you could do addition in your rules, you could do multiplying, you could do dividing. So when you're looking at your rules, look at how it's increasing. If it's not increasing by the exact same amount each time, you're not adding. If it's increasing, but it's not the exact same amount, you want to look for multiplying. If it's decreasing by the exact same amount every time, you're subtracting. If you're decreasing by a varying amount, by those multiples you're going down, you're dividing. So things to think about when we're doing our rules. We have, there will be all the different operations. So you will have to really look at how it's increasing or how it's decreasing. If it's by a constant, every time it's going up by 2 or down by 2, you're adding or subtracting. If it's not the constant, you're going to look at what am I multiplying by every time? What am I dividing by every time? Chance.
Aren't there like two answers for these addition and subtraction ones? You could use like for this one, for example, y equals x plus y, or like y equals x minus negative one. You can use that.
When you do minus a negative, you're adding. So we don't write minus a negative when we do a rule. Okay, because you have to change it to adding no matter what. Any other questions? Okay, for my friends at home, we hope you're well. We hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.